more about that, as I said. So good morning. I want to start with a quote that I think is very fascinating. The upper echelon of top performances are filled with people who are high in emotional intelligence. 90% of top performers, to be exact, 90. That's shocking. Was for me and Victoria, we were talking about. However, the hallmark of emotional intelligence is self-control. It's a skill that unleashes massive productivity by keeping us on track and focused. That's Dr. Travis Bradbury, EQ expert. So I thought that was a great way to start off this morning because emotional intelligence has so many different facets that I think oftentimes we don't think about, right? And I'll have some other quotes for you that I think are pretty fascinating. I'm going to share the agenda with you, but before I get started, I wanted to, with the agenda and then an overview of the program. I wanted to give you a little bit of information, a little bit of background about why Business Council has asked me to join, to facilitate this program. I've been doing it for 3 years now. I had a predecessor, Laura Powers, who some of you have taken the class with. I have Shannon and Marion, as well as Sam, actually. And who else do we have? Natasha, who took the class with me. So they'll share a few of their experiences as well, just to give you a little bit of background in addition. So my background is a executive coach, a facilitator, and a speaker. I also hold a number of certificates in generative AI for leaders in marketing, both marketing and HR, as well as using data for business decisions. It also contains lots of information about AI risks, and there are risks, as well as ethical issues. So that's a newer focus of mine, and I think it's one that's very timely, and I know Business Council is focused on that as well. So I am the founder of my company, Winners Business Coaching, and I did that in 2014 when I left a corporate career as a trainer and a facilitator and a coach for sales teams. So actually I did that in 2014, so it's my 10-year anniversary. I just actually realized that. Thank you. But my company's mission is to create better workplaces where organizations invest in their greatest asset, and that's their employees. And when they do that, they realize many things. But 3 things I wanted to just highlight is they realize that higher profits, improved employee retention and work satisfaction, and also better work-life integration. I don't think balance is possible. I think because we're always out of balance and or imbalance, I like to refer to it as work-life integration. And so my practice, therefore, focuses on working with senior leaders and teams to help them create positive work cultures. And that's where employees feel engaged, they feel like they're contributing, and they feel like they're making a difference. And I think that all of us want that in our workplace. And I work with a diverse group of organizations. So I've worked with not-for-profits, I've worked with government agencies, worked for professional services, as well as some global organizations. And so that's a little bit about me. I'm going to ask Victoria to introduce herself, and then I'll share our agenda with you. Thank you, Victoria.
Thank you, Kathy. Very impressive resume. We're so lucky to have you in the Business Council and the StarPower program. Good morning, everyone. Mostly ladies and Kyle. My name is Victoria Bruno. I manage new business for King's Capital Construction. We've been members of the Business Council for more than 10 years. I've been chairperson of the StarPower program. I think we're coming up to 3 years now, and I'm an alumni of the StarPower 1 program, class of 2020. Laura Powers was my coach, and then Kathy and I started working together afterwards. And I took the class in the prime time of the pandemic, right? So first couple of classes were in person at the Business Council of Westchester's office, and then the last 3 were held online. And to be adaptable, the Business Council and the StarPower program had moved to a virtual setting to be more accommodating. The program for me was so amazing because I always thought that as an extrovert, I am very aware of both myself and other people. But honestly, when you're in this safe space with the StarPower program and your colleagues, and eventually, I'm telling you, they become your friends, you really get to learn each other and really understand another person's perspective. Not only was the Star Power program an amazing experience, but it helped me grow personally and professionally, but also helped me build so many amazing relationships through the Business Council of Westchester. And we really want to have that happen for you too. So thank you so much for being here today. We're always available if you ever have any questions. It's an amazing resource. We hope you take advantage of it and let us know if you have any questions. So thanks again, Kathy.
Thanks, Victoria. So I'm going to share the agenda for those of you that are driving. If you can't see it, no worries. I'll read through it just briefly. And let me just do a screen share here real quickly with you. Make sure I have the right one. There we go. Can everybody see the screen? Good. Okay, good. So actually, that's the wrong one. I have two different sheets. My apologies. Let me grab the right one. I think this is it. I have lots of things to share with you. That's still not the right one. Let me grab it real fast. Where in the heck did it go? Oh, here it is. It was hiding. I apologize. All right, great. So go through the agenda a little bit. And believe it or not, this is the one we're going to show about the program. So let me just go through. Let me go back here for a second. Let me have everybody introduce themselves and then I'll share the agenda because I think that's better. We'll just have everybody at least speak. Let us know who you are. If you are driving and you can unmute, that's wonderful. If you can't, we totally understand. So I'll do my Hollywood squares. I just follow the boxes as we go along here. And so Victoria and I have obviously spoken. So I wanted to hope that you would be able to introduce, put just obviously if you don't have your name on there, if you could just tell us your name, your company, the role in your organization. And also, I always like to add a fun question for the previous participants. They know that we do that. And so the fun question would be a favorite song or a quote. You don't have to sing the song, you just have to name the song. So that would be quite fun. I'll start with mine. So my favorites, I will have 1,000 quotes, so we won't go with those. I already gave you my first one. The one I love is Queen. I love the song Champion. So I saw the movie and Bohemian Rhapsody, and I just fell in love with it. So that's mine. So I'm going to start with Natasha, and then we'll go to Shannon, and then we'll just continue through the line here. So Natasha,
I knew you were going to start with me.
Of course, because you joined first.
I know. So good morning, everyone. I am Natasha Weinstein. I'm the Operations and Development Manager at Volunteer New York. I graduated StarPower in 2022, I believe. So just about 2 years ago in Lake Victoria, we were still virtual, but I think I was Kathy's first class for StarPower 1, which was great and so much fun because I love Kathy.
No.
You know how I feel about you. So my favorite quote is actually a Dr. Seuss quote. It's, "We are all a little weird and life is a little weird. And when we find someone whose weirdness is compatible with ours, we join up with them and fall in mutual weirdness and call it love." So that's actually my favorite quote. And I heard one of my coworkers hear me say that in the background.
Thank you so much for sharing that and welcome. Shannon, and then we'll go to Tiffany.
Hi, I'm Shannon. I am the Director of Teen and Camp Services for the Y of Central and Northern Westchester. I graduated StarPower 1 last spring, so I was the 2023 class. I'm just gonna give a little background about myself, Kathy, because I have to hop off. I have a 9:15 coming in.
Absolutely.
So I've really enjoyed the StarPower class. I was virtual. I was with Marion as well. I think similar to Victoria, the connections that I made, now me and Marion work together in a different organization. So really just having the connections and the leadership skills and developing confidence in yourself in your role and kind of giving you direction as to where you're going was something that I really gained from StarPower 1. And many people in my organization have also been through the StarPower program 1 and 2. So having that community has been great. And my quote would be, it's a Disney quote, and I don't know, right off the top of my head, I should have looked it up. But it's the possibility of having a dream come true that makes life worth living. So that's kind of my quote. And it was very great to meet you all. I have an interview, hopefully walking in any minute.
Thanks, Shannon. And
Have
good
a
luck
great
with your
rest of your
interview. We
day.
appreciate you hopping on. Thank you so much.
Shannon, appreciate it.
Right. Okay. So we will go to, let's see, Marion and then Kyle. Kyle, if you can't talk, just let us know on mute and then we'll just move on.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Marion Henson. I'm the owner and founder of Bloom Healthy, organic grocery market. I was in StarPower class 2023, again with Shannon, and I'm grateful to be here this morning. Should I also tell a little bit about the program, Kathy, or keep going?
Yeah, we're gonna come right back to that. I'm just gonna go through, let everybody introduce himself and we'll come right back, Marion. Do you have to jump off as well?
Oh, no, I'm okay until about
Okay,
9.
good. All right, yeah, we're gonna come back to that in just a second. Okay, Kyle and then Andrea. Thank you, Marion.
Hey, everybody. Kyle Nolan. I'm a financial advisor with Morgan Stanley. I met Victoria probably about a year ago now. And we have become close through our networks and, have tagged along on a number of meetings, and she invited me here today. My quote is a Theodore Roosevelt quote, "The man in the arena." I won't read it to you at the moment, but feel free to look it up. Yeah.
I love that one. I think Brene Brown talks about that one too. Is that the same one?
I honestly am not sure.
Okay, the man in the arena. We'll look that up. If I can find it, I'll throw it in the chat box. Okay.
Sounds
All right. Thanks, Kyle and Andrea, and then Mariana or Mariana. Oh, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, but you can correct me. Thanks, Andrea.
Hi, good morning, everybody. My name is Andrea Grimaldi Griefer, and I am the Regional Officer for Volunteer Services with the American Red Cross, the Greater New York region. And I've been a member of the Business Council of Westchester for many, many years through the Red Cross. So I was curious as to what this program was, which is why I joined today. And I'm actually going to talk about my favorite song, which will date me a little bit, but it's "In Your Eyes," Peter Gabriel. Thank you.
You want to sing a few verses?
I love that song too.
Not at all. I don't want
Thank you so much. Thank you. Just joking. Okay, Mariana, did I say your name wrong or is that okay? And then Elizabeth after that.
Nope, you said it correctly, Mariana.
Thank you. Okay.
Good morning, ladies. My name is Mariana Gill. I'm a paralegal at Cuddy and Fader. Been here since 2019. And one of my favorite quotes is, "Only thing we have to fear is fear itself," from Roosevelt.
I love that. I love that. That's excellent. Thank you so
Love
much.
the
And
theme
Elizabeth, and then
today.
we'll go to, I'm sorry, what?
I was just saying Roosevelt's a theme today.
Oh, yes. I love Elizabeth, not Elizabeth, his Eleanor Roosevelt. I always have a lot of quotes from her as well. Thank you. Elizabeth and then Siobhan.
So unfortunately, Elizabeth doesn't have access to a microphone.
Okay, no problem. So we'll maybe if you're available, you can put something in the chat box, just introduce yourself. I just saw it, Elizabeth. I apologize. Siobhan and then Danielle.
Still happy to have you here, Elizabeth. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. And you can
Hi,
put it in
good
the chat box
morning.
if you're on your computer. Okay, go ahead, Siobhan. I'm sorry.
My name is Siobhan Clark. I am an associate pending admission at Cuddy and Fader. I don't have a quote off the top of my head.
How about a song?
Just a favorite song
Yeah,
overall.
anyone. Yeah.
One of my favorite songs is "As" by Stevie Wonder.
Great one. Thank you. So Danielle, and then we have a 203 with a 324 number. We'll go there next.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay,
Perfect.
hi. My name is Danielle Calder. I have been with Cuddy and Fader since 2013. I'm a paralegal in litigation department. I actually have two favorite quotes that kind of probably match my character, I would say. One is by Charlie Chaplin, "A day without laughter is a day wasted." And the second is actually by Marilyn Monroe, "A wise girl knows her limits, a smart girl knows she has none."
Love those. Those are very, very cool. Thank you for sharing those. Excellent. And so our 203, 203-240, and then we'll go to the last phone number, which would be the 391.
Hi, good morning. My name is Radar Net. I'm a paralegal in the land use telecom department at Cuddy and Fader. I have a lot of favorite quotes, but one I can think of off the top of my head is "You have to believe in yourself when no one else does," and that's by Serena Williams.
A good one too. You guys are pretty awesome with these. Off the top of your head, I always have to think about them because kind of sort through them, but you guys are just whipping them right out. Okay, and our last phone call, which is the 391 number. Were there any messages from that person? No.
It's a 203-917 number.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
that's me. This is
Okay.
Elaine. I'm sorry, I'm driving, so I can't really talk, but I just want to say hello.
Yes, and your first name was, I'm sorry, what?
I'm sorry, Elaine Nunez with Cuddy and Fader. I'm in the land use and telecom department along with Radar. and
Oh.
Danielle and Mariana, my lovely girls, and Siobhan.
Awesome. Yeah, we have a whole group of you this morning. So wonderful. Thank you for joining us.
And just quickly, I want to introduce Elizabeth Torres. She also works with Cutting and Fader, was recently promoted to paralegal. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Been there for 2 years. Her favorite song is Dreams by Fleetwood Mac. And her favorite quote is, "I've never dreamed about success. I worked for it."
Oh, I know that's
Oh,
right.
thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah,
Sounds so repeating
yeah,
that, Victoria.
snap, snap.
That's wonderful.
I just want to thank everybody for coming to the Cutting and Fader team. I am going to let Tony and Dion and everyone know that you guys made the time to be here with us. So thank you.
Yes, very much. Thank you very much. So I just wanted to go through the introduction. So our agenda for today is really, I'm just going to give you an overview about the program. And then actually what we'll do is we'll have the other few people here that have done StarPower. Actually, Sam did as well. Did StarPower 1 as well with me. And after we do that, we'll go through the an agenda for, just share the overview of the program. I can answer any questions. And then we'll just close and we'll be off the call around 10 o'clock. I'll be respectful of your time. If anybody has questions, you can always stay. And we'll be glad to chat, but I wanted to make sure that I share the the agenda once we have our previous StarPower participants. A few of them have to jump off. So if you just a couple words, even Marion, if you wanted to start, I know you were wanted to say something before.
Yeah. So I really enjoy the StarPower 1 program, and Shannon kind of alluded to it. So it's just the beginning of really talking about empathy, how to use it. And it does help you kind of not only in your professional on the job life, but in your day-to-day life. So I've been able to apply a lot of that skill set to my own personal business, to work that I do with others. And now, since the StarPower program, I actually became more involved in 2 boards. So it's given me the opportunity to really step up into leadership position and feel comfortable, but also using the skill sets I learned to listen, to communicate, and to continue to develop and build relationships. So very grateful for the program.
Thank you for sharing that. That's brilliantly said. Far better than I could share it. And one of the things that we did, and I hope all of you will do it, whether you join the program or not, you'll link in with all of us. So we can,
Danielle, do you have a question?
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no.
Or did someone have a question? No? Okay.
Yeah, I was going to say, are you guys on LinkedIn? I was trying to find you right now.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. So you'll find me under my name, the way I have it in the box. And I think most of us are pretty much the way, we have it in our box. And Sam, would you be able to shoot for us so we get a picture?
Yes.
Okay, great. So we'll post it on LinkedIn and we'll tag all of you if that's okay with you. Anybody not okay, just put it in the chat box and send Victoria a note and we won't tag you. But if you're okay with it, we'll go ahead and tag you. And Sam will post it on LinkedIn as well. All right, so we'll just hear from Natasha. So we, in case she has to jump off. And Sam, if you want to say a few words, go ahead, Natasha.
I'm good on time, Kathy. So thank you. I think the word I would use is introspective for my class. I was going through a, unfortunately, very toxic work situation when I was taking StarPower 1. And one of the things I think it really helped me with, which has since continued, is teach me about patience and how to implement that when things aren't going the way that I hope they would. So especially implementing it in a work situation where you might have to deal with conflict resolution, managing up, whatever the situation might be. And Kathy was a wonderful mentor to me during that time and during that role. And that introspection I got has really helped me in future roles, and including this one, just taking that step back, really being thoughtful and less reactive, whether it's a positive or negative situation that you have to manage.
Actually, you just perfectly described EQ. EQ really talks about people who have high EQ really focus on solutions and not the problem, right? So I always talk that I have a rock that I was going through my certification and coaching program, is that the rock only stands on one side. It doesn't stand on two. You can focus on the problem side or you can focus on the solution side. You choose the side that you put the rock up every day.
Exactly. And one thing I really like to say, especially when there's conflict, is there's 3 sides to every story. You have each individual side and what actually happened. We don't know that third side concretely unless they're like video evidence, which is very rare. So understanding and hearing out and making all sides feel heard And then, like you just said, Kathy, looking for that solution and that compromise as needed.
Yeah, really, it's a sign of high EQ. People who do that really do move on in life much easier and with less angst. Sam, did you want to say a few words or?
Yes. So hello, everyone. I'm Samantha. I'm with the Business Council of Westchester, the Events and Operations Manager here. I just, on behalf of the BCW, want to thank you guys for taking your time to join our information session. I personally, as everyone else, or a few of them here, also took the course. Kathy was the instructor for me. Kathy is an amazing instructor. I learned a lot about myself personally, and of course, my leadership skills. I would say it definitely helped me with my confidence in my leadership ability. It definitely helped me with my leadership development. So, you know, we highly recommend it. If you have any questions, of course, we're here, we're available. But I think it'll be a very informative session. And again, thank you for taking your time to join us today.
Thanks, Sam, for that. And Business Council has been, brought this program to, to the community of Westchester. And one of the things that how it happened and the outcome that they were looking for is really creating this personal and professional development program designed for Westchester, to bring Westchester leaders into the community and into their organization. I mean, Rising Stars are a big part of this. Many of you here have been nominated or have actually won the Rising Stars. And so it was really a program that they really looked at from both sides of it. Building leadership in the community is huge because it's not only for organizations and workplace, but it is a part of the community. It's really about bringing that knowledge and those insights and the opportunities to build self-knowledge. And many of you mentioned that self-knowledge, that internal reflection, as well as relationships and communication needed to build careers and to help us shine in our organizations. And so that was really why the mission of Business Council was to bring this to the Westchester community. And they've extended to people who are even non-members because they just felt it's so important. We've had people from Connecticut, New Jersey, and from New York City also take it since we moved it online. And there's lots of benefits to, obviously being in person, but online so far has been, the methodology we've been using. So it allows other people to partake in it as well.
I just want to also add to that because I heard Samantha, Marion, and I think Shannon had said it earlier and not to single you out, Kyle, but there are a lot of women on this call. And what the program really gave a safe space for was that confidence level. It always takes a little bit more, right? A little more effort from a woman to whether or not you're in a specific industry or not, you're an entrepreneur, but you have to be able to remember to stand your ground, be aware that you belong, that your seat at the table is warranted, and that you need to be respected just like everybody else in the rest of the team. I know, again, it's a little easier for an extrovert like me, but being in a class with a lot of introverts, it also made me realize like, hey, I might be overly, not ambitious, overly excited, and wanting to give ideas. But then I noticed like, oh, hey, Samantha, I'm going to pick on you because you're one of my besties here. Samantha's a little more quiet. What are her ideas in the corner? Let me ask her specifically. Let her feel the confidence too. So, women empowerment. Again, Kyle, I apologize to single you out. Women in construction, I just know that it takes a little bit more to make sure that you are one of the guys, but you keep your femininity and you are respected and that you're confident and you know that you belong. And that was one of the safest things that this StarPower group allowed me to be aware of. So I just wanted to point that out.
No, that's honestly very well said. Thank you very much for sharing that. I mean, StarPower 1 is really based on that emotional intelligence and again, focusing on the workplace in this case. And it's a much needed skill that's critical to success. And you said that so brilliantly, Victoria. It's really, just not about you. The 4 pillars of emotional intelligence are self-knowledge, self-management, other knowledge, and other management. And that's really what it boils down to, along with empathy, right? And so one of the quotes, and since all of you seem to like quotes and have those in your pocket and you just pull them right up, emotional intelligence in the workplace is one of the most critical leadership skills. It really helps workers understand and manage their own emotions, which is obviously the pillar that we learn, and to be around colleagues. It builds stronger relationships. It helps improve in performance, as I mentioned on that first quote. And it also helps employees progress through their careers much faster, and they actually make more money. There's a statistic by Talent Smart that says people who have high emotional intelligence not only are more well-liked, but make $29,000+ more per year than people with low EQ. So it actually translates into dollars and cents. And so, investing in programs like this obviously have a financial investment, but the return on the investment, as I think you've heard some people speak here today, has just, has really paid back to them very well. Again, Travis Bradbury, who's the EQ expert, right, says only 36% of the people really exhibit disability, right? So it's really a low number when you think about how much that we have to put in, how much time we spend at work and how much effort we put into our careers. And so I think that those two things and a couple of the other information that we've shared, 90% of high performers really have that high emotional intelligence. So let me share a little bit about the program. I want to, if I can find the right screen here, I promise you.
Kathy, before
Yes.
you talk about the program, if I could just talk about the alumni organization.
Oh, yes, because you have to go. Okay.
I just want to be conscious of time, and I want to make sure that everybody, I
Good
will have
point.
time in a few minutes, guys, so if you see me, but I do want you to know that we try really hard to keep the alumni group really part of an everyday communication. That was one of the things that drove the StarPower program and the Business Council. Like I said, not only are you building more confidence and becoming more self-aware, you're building relationships and they really last a long time. So I, again, have been with the program since 2020. That's when I graduated, but I've been with the BCW for almost 10 years now. And every year, every day is always better than the last. I'm always learning something new. There's always someone new to meet. And what's really great is the community here, you're not only building business relationships, you're building friendships. And I know that at any time I can call up Natasha or Samantha or anyone in the alumni organization who is usually still a member of the Business Council and say, hey, do you know so-and-so? Can I have an introduction? Hey, I think I have a friend who needs something. Do you know anybody that might be able to help? Absolutely. And the connections, like I'm getting chills just talking about it because I have two cousins actually. Vincent, who just passed a civil engineering test, he was able to get in with JMC for an internship, and to make that connection was awesome. Cuddy and Fader has invited me in to meet with the group, and not only have we become friends, but we're also great working partners. So the alumni, we like to try and have happy hours. I like to, one-on-ones, we go to the movies. It could be really informal or it could be more of a formal setting. And I just wanted to point out that not only do you get your StarPower classmates, but you get this whole community that is one. So we're always here for this amazing resource. And again, I just hope that you'll take advantage of it and be part of our cool club.
And Victoria also does a wonderful end of the program. Everybody gets a certificate. It's a beautiful, Natasha, we do it a little differently now. We do like a dinner or wine and appetizers.
Yes.
We're also still very much dealing with COVID when I graduated. So
Yes,
it was
so
a lot
we
more
really had a
intimate
yeah.
and all that. But I have a background on mine's actually hanging behind me at my desk in the office.
It is true. We do like to have a commencement dinner. We think it's very important to acknowledge your dedication to the program. I mean, we know that it is time, and time is precious, but honestly, the return on your investment is 20-fold. So the commencement dinner, we like to have it at River Market in Terrytown, and it's really a good time. So.
And everybody gets to bring their sponsor if they so choose. And we just actually graduated StarPower 2, our second StarPower 2. That's the Academy for High Performance, executives who are mid and senior level professionals. So thanks, Victoria. So whenever you have to jump off, I'm just going to screen share now the agenda and just walk you through what the course actually is. So I know that's what you've been waiting for, and I wanted to make sure I get that for you. So I just need to make sure I'm grabbing the right one this time. Let's see if I did. I think I did this time, actually. So I have a number of documents I wanted to share. All right, so I'll walk you through this a little bit, and let's see if we can I can just shed a little more light. At this point, just feel free to unmute yourself, ask a question if you have any questions, and that's perfectly fine. So the structure every day, we meet every other week, except for there's 1 week in here. You'll see that the March 14th to the 21st, we have only a 1 week in between. I think something that Victoria, I wanted to also address before you jump off was our leadership panel discussion that we always have. And we have that in, I think it's in session 4, we have that. So Victoria
Yes,
puts together, right? You want to speak about that just
absolutely.
real quickly?
Yes, that is actually one of my favorite events. We have it twice a year, obviously, Star Power 1 and Star Power 2. I am lucky enough to be the moderator, and I like to invite, whether you're a Star Power alumni, a rising star, or just a business council member that I think, or I should say we think, would be a really great perspective. So, we bring them in, we'll have questions about their experience. I try to mix it up, females and males. And we have everybody from different backgrounds, lawyers, finance, IT, construction, real estate, and it's really a good conversation. It usually goes about 45 minutes, during one of the sessions, whether it's 4, 5, or 6. We're very flexible. So if you're part of the program and you become a graduate, please know that you'll be on my list of potential panelists, and we always look to a new perspective. So
absolutely. And some people just like, we record them, so we send them out afterwards. So and also for the participants, it's also an opportunity for them to share it on LinkedIn and have it for, in their own portfolio for sharing with other people. So it has a lot of win-win benefits. And Victoria's put some together some very powerful panels, and I know everybody's enjoyed them. So that's really valuable. Thanks, Victoria, again, for jumping in there. So let me share with you again about the program. The sessions, like you can read, I'm not going to read this to you. We've already talked about the building awareness and a lot of that type of things. But the Instant Network, Victoria has mentioned that's the alum, and and really the business community. It's an invaluable resource. So it's our 9th year. And I just want to walk you through the program overview, just give you a little bit more in depth than you can read here. So we do create a very safe space, and I think any of the members would tell you that, where, we use the adage, what said in Vegas stays in Vegas. So we do keep that confidentiality, and so that everybody has a safe space to share. If there's even time, we can do masterminds where people can bring a challenge or an opportunity. We use the collective brain power of the group to even share, problems and give advice. So, oftentimes those things are organic and they happen, and we go ahead and use them to our advantage. So we have as we mentioned, the leadership panel discussion, but this program really involves a lot of coaching and training. I'm the facilitator, but I often learn as much from the participants and they learn from each other. So it's very interactive. I am not lecturing like we are today. I promise you it's super engaging and super interactive. You can check with Natasha or Sam or anybody on that one as well. I have whiteboards. We do even a little bit more now. We have our exercises are in breakout rooms. We have reinforced learning through an accountability partner. So everybody has an accountability partner that you really grow. We changed them at least twice throughout the program. You really get to know the participants in depth by having these accountability partners. People go on and create great friendships just from that alone. I use a lot of videos, TEDx talks, PowerPoints. So it's very engaging. It's very interactive. It's 2.5 hours. I know it's long, but I promise you will not be bored. And, I think sometimes it's even entertaining. So we hope to see that, right? So in the first session, if you have any questions, again, just feel free to unmute yourself, just jump in or raise your hand if Victoria can, while she's still here, she can watch for if anybody raises their hand, because I can't see everybody when I'm doing screen sharing. So the first session, we talk about emotional awareness, right? So it's really the EQ overview. We have a self-assessment that everybody will do at the beginning, and sometimes probably towards the end, we'll do another one, and just kind of, so we have some baseline so we understand our growth, right? So what you can't see, you don't know. So we try to measure it in that way as well. So we have a couple different assessments that we can use. One of the things that are really brilliant and built in this program is this self-awareness. We create our own personal branding statement, and that's really valuable today. Everybody hears about the branding situation, and what's branding? It's your reputation, but that insights that you get in that reflection helps you to create that personal branding statement. And we start with a draft in session 1, and by the end of session 6, people really have them really nailed down. So it's something that you can keep and always have. This program really plays to your strengths to enhance your career satisfaction and your success. and, and to help you work better with others. So in session 2, we start talking about self-management, right? And so what is self-management comes up? It comes up the imposter syndrome. Victoria mentioned, alluded that sometimes we've had men and women in the program, but, men can have the imposter syndrome too. We think it often is just women. Really talks about what things trigger us. So that's self-management. Self-control, I mentioned, is really a pillar of emotional intelligence. So how do we really look at managing our triggers, identifying them, and doing it, consciously, intentionally, and without judgment. So really trying to name those emotions, and we can put names to them, we can deal with them much better. We move on to, that's the first phase, which is focusing in. Second phase is the focusing out, focusing on social awareness, understanding and knowing others, identifying and turning, into looking at others. This is where we really learn about empathy as a core career success item. Empathy can't be overstressed. I think it's so important. And self-empathy is very valuable too. So, we really look at the whole person, and we want to make sure that while we're sharing empathy with others, that we're also expressing it for ourselves, right? So then we may update the EQ assessment at this point as well. And then we move into the second part, which is focusing out of, managing others, right? So understanding and appreciating the differences. And Victoria mentioned that. She alluded that, Sam might be a little more quiet, extroverts. I might fall in the extrovert, arena too. And so, how do we all work together? And we need different people in the workplace. And that's why we create teams. That's why teams are such a big focus in today's workplace, right? And so, some of the things that I wanted to mention are in session 5, and this is a new focus for those of you that haven't been in, you've taken the course before, and I mentioned AI before, right? So AI is a huge focus of organizations today. Business Council this year, all 2024, it's called AI 360, right? Sam, am I correct on that one? AI 360, we just went to the—
Correct, yes, AI Alliance 360.
Alliance 360, yeah. So as I mentioned before, that I'm certified in a number of AI certificates. So we'll do a very, very deep dive, and I'll bring up AI throughout the whole program wherever it seems appropriate. But AI is now a really huge requirement for career success, right? And so that means a lot of different things. Sometimes it's about how do we make decisions. It's understanding the risks, understanding people's tolerance. And so EQ, I like to talk about it is where EQ and AI meet. There's a huge potential for career development in that area. So I'm not going to teach you how to analyze data. I don't know how to do that. I'm on the people side of it. It's about how can we use AI to use that empathy when we're dealing with machine learning or dealing with new technology. So how can we always focus on people and not just the technology? So the blend of both of them really are a win-win situation. And we talk a lot about that now in the session 5, where we focus on AI and creating our leadership, blueprint. Where do we want to go within the organization, or, however you want to define your career. And then our last session is really the wrap up, right? So it's an open forum. We don't have a set agenda for that. It's anybody can go back in and talk about whatever else that we needed to do a deeper dive on. I mentioned the mastermind. Sometimes this is an opportunity where people bring a challenge, and we can use all that new collective knowledge that we just had to really share those problems and offer some suggestions. Again, with that, confidentiality and with that safe space, which is so valuable and really allows for people to feel confident, and, knowing that they can share and that will stay in the room. And that's really important. So that's pretty much what we go through the program. As I said, it's 2.5 hours. We have the accountability partner. We talk about our assignments, which reinforces our learning. And it really does do a deep dive as we go through it. So some of the things on session 5, if we have a few seconds, I'll talk about it, is really, how I think this is a new focus. And I think since it ties into Business Council, I wanted to go a little bit deeper on it. We'll talk about how EQ complements AI and career development. I mean, always adding that human touch. It's so necessary. With AI, there's a lot of people that have fears that they're going to lose their jobs, or, what the change looks like. And change is never easy for people. So really talk about AI-driven environments, and EQ skills such as empathy, communication, and collaboration are so important. just to drive it home a little bit more, you know, an example I think I might share, as a leader with a strong EQ can effectively communicate these AI-driven changes for employees. They can address their concern and they can foster a supportive and collaborative culture. When people can communicate their fears, and one of you actually mentioned the quote was about fear, right? Just fear itself. And so, you know, really talking about how can we do this and, you know, drive it home with personal examples, because some case studies I can share with you on the career development. But it's really just about how managers can use EQ to balance AI generated, you know, new technology that some companies may be implementing, and also be aware of the ethical issues, as I mentioned before. But empathy and intuition when making personal decisions will guide more and more of the decisions that business leaders will make in their organizations. So with that, I'm going to stop the screen share, and of course the certificate, and I can put in the link. Sam, if you want to put it in, or do you want me to put this in the link for the chat box for the registration link? If anybody,
I will put it in right now.
Okay, great. Yeah, and actually just share a little bit. We've had over 150 graduates in the past 9 years. StarPower 1 has been for 9 years, and the last two, StarPower 2 has been for the last 2 programs, and this year 2024 will be our 3rd one. So I wanted to open it to questions, and then I can recap anything if I wasn't clear, or if you have anything that I didn't address. Let's see, I think we have 2 messages here. Okay, thanks, Victoria. She had to jump off. Oh, Cindy, hi, good morning. Hi, I see you joined us. Thanks, Sam, for putting the registration in there. The first class starts September 29th, if you saw that on the agenda, and then we wrap up on May the 2nd. So it's basically every other week except for March the 7th, 14th to the end of 21st is a back-to-back class. So anybody have any questions? Cindy, I think there was AI summary when you jumped on. Did you get the AI summary? We have our AI assistant on.
I'm sorry, my volume was down. Can you repeat that question?
Yeah, I said we have the AI assistant on, right, Sam?
It should be on.
Yeah, it came up when I signed on. So it should give you a summary in the chat box. I'm not sure if you can see it, Cindy.
I don't see it.
Okay, well, you can stay on for a few minutes. Glad to go through anything because I know you got on a little late. So any questions, you can unmute right now. We're just going to do an open discussion. What questions can I answer? What would be helpful for you?
One thing I want to share, Kathy, if it's okay.
Sure.
Since I took the class, Kathy's done a wonderful job of reimagining and evolving the class. So when I took it, it was actually a 6-month program, and now it's 6 weeks. And from what I've heard from other participants is that 6 weeks is so comprehensive. They feel like they're getting so much more versus when we met once a month. So I think you're coming in at a really great time for the StarPower program to really help you evolve and continue growing.
Yeah, that's it. I thought that I did change it every other week. So that's a good point. I forgot almost that we did that. I just felt that like the gap of 4 weeks was a long time in between, even though you're meeting with your accountability partner. That consistency and that reinforcement seemed like it was working better when we can do it a little quicker. And yeah, there's still plenty of time to work with your accountability partner to reinforce the lessons. And nobody seemed to be too pressured, but it is fast paced. Plenty of time. So a good question, I don't know if anybody had this question or not, but if you miss a class, I will do a makeup. If we have 2 people that miss it, that I'll do it together. We'll try to come up with a mutual date. If not, I'll spend about a half hour, 45 minutes going over anything. And then you can also rely on your accountability partner. So that's why we have AP partners as well. And they can share anything that I might have missed, but I'll give a high level view, and then your accountability partner and the assignments will help drive that. So if anybody feels like, oh, I might miss a class, it's no problem. We'll make it work. We don't record the classes because we do want people to come in person. We're recording this today just so we can have it on file if people sometimes want to join later after we've done this info session. Then you'll have it available. We can just replay it for them. So Sam, I think that was our intention for doing that today. So we have a reference on this.
But I thought you said it was, I thought the leadership program is virtual, is it not?
It is virtual.
Okay. Oh, okay.
So Danielle, the reason we're recording this today, as Kathy just said, in case those who wanted to attend the info session, learn more, couldn't make it.
I thought,
But-
no, I thought, I guess I just heard incorrectly when she said that we don't record it, meaning you don't record the actual leadership.
I don't record,
Yeah.
yeah,
as we go.
absolutely. So
Yeah,
we
no,
don't
that I understand. No,
Yep. Yep,
Yes.
that's it.
Yeah,
No, I
this
understand
one
that.
is good because we can replay it, but the course is, yeah, because if we set, and I know it myself, if I can have an option to do the replay, I think I'll listen to it, and I never do. So we
Right.
really want the interaction, the engagement, and as we said, it's a cohort, and what we learn from each other so is valuable as much as the information that I provide. That's the catalyst for it,
Right.
but you guys are the ones that really make it happen, and really your cohorts and your accountability partners are really what drives that and reinforces that.
Right.
Yeah. So thanks for asking for clarity around that,
Definitely,
Danielle. I appreciate that. Sure. And so I see Radar, or I'm not sure how to pronounce the name. I apologize. Siobhan, anybody, Elizabeth, Andrea, did you have any questions?
No questions.
Okay. Tiffany,
None from me.
was there anything that sounded intriguing to you, or is it something that sounded confusing? Can I give you any clarity around anything, or, were the 6 sessions pretty?
Would you be able to show the dates again for the program?
Yeah, absolutely. Let me put that back up for you again. Hang on one second. I think this is it. Let me see. I always pick the wrong one. Nope, wrong one. So I know I got the other one there. Give me 1 second. I shouldn't have had so many open here, right? Let me see. I think this is it. There we go. Program overview. That's still not it. Why am I having such a trouble with screen sharing here? Yeah, let me see. Yeah, it seems like that's the evaluation. This is the intro. All right, let me just give you the dates. So the first one is, I have them right here. So the first one is February 29th. Sam, if you want to put them in the chat box, if that's okay with you. February 29th, and we have 2 weeks. It's session 2, which is March 14th. And then we have next week, we have a following week because of the holiday in there.
What time is it? What time does it start?
Yeah, I was going to recap this. So all the classes are always on Thursday. They're from 9 a.m. to 11:30. I'm very respectful of your time. Get a break in between to answer phones or a bio break or whatever you need. So we take a 5-10 minute break. And the sessions, and 11:30. And so it's February 29th, March 14th, March 21st, April 4th, April 18th, and May 2, we wrap up.
Okay.
And then the leadership conference or discussion will be in, I think we said session 4. Let me make sure that's correct.
Yep,
Is that right?
session 4. Yep.
Yeah, session 4. Okay. And then session 5 will be the career development, where we'll do a little deeper dive this time now into the AI. And so we'll invite Natasha or anybody else that wants to join us for that one. It wants to pop in and hear what's new about AI and how we need to think about our careers in a little different way. And, there's a lot of angst around AI and there's a lot of excitement around it. So there's a lot going on, and Business Council is going to do a great job this year. And as Sam mentioned, the Alliance 360 on AI, they had their first session in early February, or was the end of January?
January 30th.
January 3rd, it's right at the end, right? And the next one is on March 7th. So we're all looking forward to that one as well. So I think, in our careers today, we can't neglect AI, whether we adopt it into our companies or organizations or not. I think we need to be knowledgeable about it. And I know that I've made it a priority in my professional development to continue to grow on that. And actually have another program coming up through Wharton Business School to really do a deeper dive. And again, it's not on the data side of it, but it's really on how to use that data for business, helping businesses and leaders to make those decisions for their employees. How can they best adapt it and make them more productive, but also free up this time? I think there's some of the questions around AI are, is it going to take jobs? And actually, initially, the first 10 years, we believe it's going to create a lot more jobs. Like whoever heard of I think it's called a prompt engineer. And then we have AI engineers now, right? And so what it's doing is really saving us time on those mundane kind of routine tasks to give us more time to be, creative thinkers and to really solve problems that are really important and to kind of get away from the mundane tasks that, that AI can do for us. So I think there's a lot of angst. So we'll talk about that throughout the program. And I'll try to bring in some case studies and examples of where EQ and AI are really great partners.
So just a quick question, would they at all be willing to adjust the time in terms of the schedule or no?
I mean, the morning, you mean morning versus afternoon, or you mean dates?
Yeah, the timing of the day.
We've always done morning, you know,
Mhm.
what happens is if you get to the afternoon, if you do like 1 to 4 or 1 to
Mhm.
3:30, people
Mhm.
get caught up in that, you know, and so oftentimes I know a couple meetings that start like in the middle of the day, and it's always the highest drop off of retention.
Oh, really?
Kathy, if I can also jump in, a lot of organizations think of this as professional development, which it is. So they will be more understanding about missing that 2.5 hours in the morning. But if you have concerns, I would also talk to your direct supervisor, or you can reach out to me about how I handled it. I just put my email in the chat with the company I was working at the time. So,
Hey,
and I have
thank
to
you,
jump
Natasha.
for another meeting, but it
ahead.
was wonderful meeting everyone. Feel free to reach out should you have questions. And Kathy and Sam, will see you soon.
Okay, thank you so much, Natasha. Really appreciate you joining
Of
us.
course. Bye.
Good meeting you. Okay. So Mariana, anything else I can answer for you? If not, you know, we can feel free to wrap up. Again, it starts February 29th. So Sam, registration is ongoing right now.
Correct. Yes, it's open. You can follow the link I dropped in the chat, or you can find it under our events tab on our website as well.
Yeah. And if you
When is
want,
the
we can
last day
send
to
out,
register?
I'm sorry, what?
When is the last day to register?
The last day, let's see.
I think the week before would be the latest weekend.
Correct. Yeah, I would say the latest, the Monday of the 26th.
Yeah.
But ideally it would be the week before.
Yeah, because
Got
I
it.
send out some pre-work and
Correct,
some,
yes.
yeah, some articles and things like that that you might want to start reading. The fee for the program, so we'll mention that as well. And so it is $9.95 per participant. And you know, Sam or Amanda can help you out with paying the fees, or I think they take credit card or ACH.
Correct, yeah, however, whichever is easier for your company, however you guys handle your payments, we work with everyone, so
Yeah.
you could always
Right.
reach out directly to me to speak more in depth about that.
Thanks, Sam. And they have your email in there, right? You want to put your email?
I'm
again?
gonna drop it right now.
Okay. Yeah, so it will start February 29th, as I said. So to get back to you, Danielle, are you still on? Yep, you're on there. Yeah, so we've always run it in the morning, and we've had the highest attendance that way. Honestly, I think in the StarPower 2 program, just because I remember that most frequently, I think I probably had one person miss one class. But again, I make accommodations if you do miss it, and there's 1 or 2 people that miss it. You know, I definitely will get together with you and do a makeup class. Actually, I missed one last year. I had surgery and I was a little bit late coming back, so we did private. I did private 2-hour classes with everybody, so always accommodate that. We do try to keep the classes small. So you know, between 8, we need at least 8 people to get that engagement, 6 or 8 people for the minimum, and then 12 is usually the max, so that we have, you know, everybody gets a lot of attention and gets a lot of focus. And it also, even the numbers help us with the accountability partners. But I think that's pretty much what I can tell you about the program.
I think the concern is because we work on Thursday. So I do understand that where Danielle's coming from. I may just reach out to Natasha and see what her, pick her brain about it, because it sounds like she had the same issue before.
What's Natasha's last name?
Weinstein.
Yeah, she put it right in there. You'll see Natasha at Volunteer New York. It's in the chat box.
Yeah.
I know, but I just wanted I didn't see her last name.
Weinstein is her last
Weinstein.
name.
I'm sorry,
Weinstein.
I apologize, Weinstein.
Let's see.
Okay.
Natasha, let me see.
Yeah, and Sam, we can send out the program overview to everybody that attended today. So we'll send that out to you. Is that okay?
Definitely.
Yes, please.
Yeah, so we'll send out the program overview, so you have the dates and you have the times and everything. You can check it with your schedule. Cindy, any questions? You're good? Okay. All right, so it's 10 o'clock. I'm glad to stay on if anybody has some questions that they want to ask. I see chat box something. Okay, there you go. Natasha Weinstein. Thank you very much, Sam. And then Sam's email's in there as well, so she can answer any questions. So if anybody, you can jump off if you want. Thank you very, very much for being here today. Hope it was helpful and informative. And would love to see you join us if it's a good time for you and if it's something that's of interest.
Thank you.
And I will see